Buenos días. This is DJ Morena Libre.
Good morning, everyone. This is DJ JC.
Oh,
Friday.
it's Friday, week 4 of the semester, right? Over.
Yes. Oh my goodness, it goes by so fast.
It does. It does. And
It
it's
flies.
it does, and it's beautiful outside too. So thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every week. I don't like the spring semester. I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't like the spring semester.
Why?
I think it's too many breaks. I don't
What?
Yeah, I don't think we.
Because
need
you don't
spring-
teach?
I don't think. But I don't think we need spring break. I mean, we don't have one in the
What?
fall. I mean,
We
just
should have a fall
go.
break.
Just keep going. I don't know.
We should. I don't know
like
why
the
we
spring
haven't.
semester.
I don't know why there hasn't been a proposal for a fall break.
Yeah. I know some
Um,
school districts. I know not in the valley, but or at least not in BISD, but some school districts have a fall break.
I
in
don't know. I
October.
heard a rumor that they were now BISD is removing days, or they adding days to the school year.
Okay.
Yeah, they're adding days now, and so now I think teachers. And then there's a freeze, I believe, or is that in Hidalgo County?
Okay.
That might be in Hidalgo. I'm confusing it. We have a guest today.
We do.
Hello.
Hello, I'm just getting over something, so I might have a sultry voice right now.
We have Angie Macias. Also, can I also?
Yes,
She-
yes, you
yeah.
could.
Okay,
yes.
you also known as Angie Popovich.
Yes.
Yeah, so her and I graduated together from Hannah.
Mm-hmm.
Joel knows her because apparently they've recognized each other as a yes.
A small world. But go ahead. I wanted. As soon as I walk
That's so
into the
funny.
studio, yeah.
That's so funny. Yes, as soon as he walked in.
So tell us about yourself.
Well, my name's Angelina Macias, and I am a mother and troop leader, Girl Scout troop leader, and heavily involved in the community. Always looking for opportunities to improve our city, not
Yes.
just for us, but people who cannot leave. And,
Yes.
try to make the best out of the city. So that's, I'm more so like downtown economic development, creating events for that are family friendly and things like that people can enjoy here.
Yeah, you're always So when I moved back what 2.5 years ago or so. We kept just sending each
Right.
other texts like, "Hey, this needs to improve and this needs to improve,"
Yes.
and yeah, so we
Still.
share that interest.
Lots of work to be done.
Lots of work in Bronzeville, yeah.
Yes.
But
And
there are some strides. I mean, there's some good things that are happening.
Yes.
There are
It's
some
getting there.
wonderful things that are happening. But like you said, we still got a way to go.
A little ways, yes.
yeah, but it's I think it's a good mixture. I was reading the newspaper this morning, the Bronzeville Herald, and I guess the city commission got an award for the work that they've done, and I think they mentioned like that the Nazca,
Oh.
if you're familiar with that, which is related to PUB. So like these big things that I guess the ethics around what they've done, they were able to receive an award for what they've done. So I mean, I guess there's I shouldn't guess. There are good things
Yeah,
that are
there's
happening
things that are
here
happening,
in
yes.
Brownsville. We love Joel and I are always talking about how we love Brownsville.
Yes, it is a beautiful city. Everybody always feels there's so much potential. And I think we are pretty much, I want to say midpoint to a lot of good retail's coming, a lot of small businesses opening, a lot of grant opportunities for people to open up their businesses and stuff like that. New housing is booming. So a little bit of everything. We're getting there.
I mean, there's so many things that are happening downtown.
Yes.
A lot of young people are investing into downtown, new restaurants, dare I say bars also.
Yeah.
But they're the classy bars. They're the nice ones.
Yeah.
Like
Some
the hole in the
breweries
wall,
are
yeah.
opening up.
But I
and
did
some-
todo. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
did
para
you're right.
todos.
Coffee
You're right.
shops.
There are some coffee shops. And so a lot of good is happening.
Yes, I agree.
And so for those of you that are listening and are interested in kind of becoming, a little more active, who do they contact? I know this is still early in the conversation.
They do. They have the city of Bronxville does have their website where they do look for advisory committees and board members. And I don't know if they changed it, but it used to be July and December. They look at the applications and they appoint them during the commissioners meeting. So if anybody's interested, log on to the city of Bronxville the website, look for boards and committees, and it'll have the application. You select which board you're interested in, whether it's BCIC or they have like the Parks and Rec departments, like just every department in Bronzeville, and you can click on the application and they'll view it during the commissioners meeting. I don't know if it's all year. I don't know if they change that, but you can double check because I'm not sure. It used to be July, December. Now it might be all year round, like every month maybe they look at the applications. But it's still good just to put it in there if you're interested in joining.
One of the things that I've learned through this show is that more and more young people are becoming involved
Yes.
and active.
Yes.
And so it is so important for these younger, young generation to get involved. And, we brought a couple of guests that are young onto the show, and they talk about their movements and their beliefs. And, I think everything's interconnected in a way. And so, I see some of these young people get involved, and it's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about in the past that I would just come to school and leave.
Yes.
And we've talked about that.
Although some history came up here. You two
Yes.
participated in.
That's true. So that's how we kind of know each other or remember each other, is that...
What
you
was
and I-
this?
Yeah,
I
what
think
was-
it was called Teen Time with Dr. Sendejas.
Yes, that's right. I remember.
That's what, yeah, that's
And
what
it
it
was back in 1994.
Oh, gosh.
And I think they selected one representative from every high school. And
Yeah.
I was the one that got selected from Rivera High School.
Yes, and I was
Yes.
like a second person because Rick Armendariz, the State Farm guy,
The State Farm guy.
he put me on the
See the billboards all
spot.
over Brownsville.
Yes.
He's like, "Can you go for me? I can't make it." I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." And I went, and we did it.
And I don't even know what we were walking into. I don't remember what we were walking into. So we show up to this studio-looking
Yeah.
place with these director's chairs, and we sit down, and then Dr. Zendejas, who was the superintendent at the time, she comes out and she just starts asking us these questions. No prep.
None.
No. Honestly, I had no idea what I was walking into. And
Sounds like our show.
Today for me, yes.
I showed up 5 minutes before.
God.
But yeah, so and to be selected as the one representative from the school
Dr.
was awesome.
Sendejas, who was that?
Esperanza Sendejas. She was
Esperanza
actually a
Sendejas.
superintendent.
And then
left
she returned.
She came back.
Yeah,
and
and
then
she returned.
recently she
Yeah.
left.
Left again, or
Yeah.
they got rid of her, or
Yeah.
something like
She
that.
ended up
I don't
leaving.
know what happened.
So it was aired, because you found the video. Was it aired through BISD TV?
Yes,
or
to the
yeah.
KBSD,
Yeah, it was one of those
KBISD
local
channel. And it has been
channels.
since 1994. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot about that until I saw you. Like, yes.
He's got an elephant
Because he's like,
memory.
no, it wasn't me.
I remember that. Yes, I remember. Yeah. Huh.
You see,
I
you
don't
were
remember what she
active.
asked. I don't remember what she asked, but it was, we thought about our school, like, and we talked about, what was happening in our school.
Ahorita sacas
Right.
el script.
Yeah. I just remember the open
transcripts.
campus. Yeah, the open campus, closed campus question.
That was the thing.
yeah, where
because
she was trying to get feedback from us.
because what had happened was
Life
we go
feedback.
down memory lane here. What had happened was that at Rivera, we didn't have open campus because we were out there in the middle of nowhere and there was nothing out there.
Oh.
So my sophomore year, they had planned a peaceful walkout.
A peaceful.
A peaceful walkout to protest because they were going to build a fence around the school to keep us in, because the only thing we had was this gas station called Corner Market, and that's where we'd all go during lunch. That
It's
was the
still
only
there.
thing. It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah, supposedly
Best
some really good
tacos.
barbecue chicken.
Yeah, there you go.
And so that was our only, because there was nothing out there. None of the McDonald's, none of what you see now was out there. And so we would just cross the street, and then they decide, you know what, we're putting a fence around it. So my sophomore year, they decide that they're going to have a peaceful protest, and we're going
That's
to have a
good.
walkout.
Yeah.
Well, it was nothing, anything but.
wow.
So during lunch, it started with a food fight, and then it just
Imagine.
became this riot of burning trash cans in the restroom.
Oh, wow.
Since it's 2 floors, we had us 2 floors, they were throwing stuff from the second floor onto the. It was just chaotic, and we were running. Not me. I was in class. Actually, I remember I had English class right after lunch.
I was still writing in my seat.
I was in English class with Mr. Green. I remember headed to class, and my friends were running down the halls. No fences, no fences. They were yelling, no fences. And like I said, so then they end up just calling the sheriff's department. There was no PSD police at the time. So they end up calling the sheriff's department, and they end up calling the buses to take us home half a day. And they still built the fence. But yes, it got crazy. I mean, my friends are running around. It was in the paper. The news went out there. Yeah, I was in class. I remember writing English class with Mr. Green.
If you're a historian,
Yeah. I was in class.
listen. Wow, this was in 1994?
1992. This was
1992.
92. So I guess it was still a thing because you and I met in 94.
Right.
And I remember they were trying to encourage like ideas. And I remember the representative from Porter, which was Joel Gracia, which I
Yeah.
think Sylvia, you and I know.
Yeah.
He was selected from Porter.
So it was
Somehow he had like insider information, and I remember him saying, no, some big changes are coming to the cafeteria at Porter, or some to that effect. And I think they were just redoing it or remodeling it.
Painting the
whatever.
walls.
Yeah, painting the walls and adding some new posters. And I remember that was a topic of conversation. But again, walking into that studio, like you, had no idea what we were walking into.
Yeah. And I think they even put makeup on us and stuff. Like,
So were you on the student council? Because it sounds like Joel was in student council.
I was in student
Yes.
council.
Oh, that's why. So they
Is that what it
probably got
was?
the- yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I was the chaplain of student council, and I did announcements in the morning. And at the time, you could say the prayers
You
at the
did
game.
the
Look
announcements.
at that.
There
Yeah,
we
I
go.
full circle
I used to do
here.
the announcements, and at the time, you could do prayers at the football games, and I would do the prayers at the football games. And I don't know, and then I was just selected to represent Rivera, and I was really proud of that and happy, and yeah, look at this now.
That's so cool.
Almost 30 years later.
Almost, yeah, we're
I guess
starting.
2024.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Our
I don't
high-
know. It feels like, what, like 10?
Someone's planning our high school reunion.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so we invited, so you sent me a text yesterday,
Correct.
and around the LBJ.
Women's Campaign School.
Yeah, can you talk to us about that? This
Okay.
is why
Yes,
I wanted
okay.
you to.
Well, I
to
have
hear.
you to thank for, because
Yeah.
Sylvia was the one that's initially sent me a link about this campaign school out of the University of Texas in Austin for women. And I looked into it, kind of forgot about it, and didn't apply that first year when I got the link. But then the following year I did apply, and I was selected. And it's really for anybody who's interested in becoming either a campaign manager or to run for an actual position in office. And I initially thought, well, I love learning new things. I was like, I could be somebody's campaign manager. Maybe we can push for somebody to run, and not knowing a thing about anything.
What you were going to experience.
Yeah. So once I got in, it's a 7-month program. We had the initial meetup was in person in person in Austin at the Capitol. They had speakers there. We meet. It was like a meet and greet with everyone, and then after that, for the next 6 months, it was a monthly Zoom meeting. Every Saturday morning, we'd meet with different guest speakers, and they'd cover everything from how to finance your campaign, the fundraising aspect, the marketing, the media, the polling. I was blown away by the amount of information. But you leave that program, and it just recently ended, and you leave the program inspired and just full of knowledge that you're like, you know what? I'm going to run instead. Because it's like
wow.
that's how, and me and politics are not friends, we're like, but it gives you so much information. Our final project was, they gave us 1 week notice. They didn't tell us what it was. And then at the final week, they say, here, run a campaign. You're a group of 5 women, pick somebody to be the person that's running, and you're all going to run against each other. So like 5 groups of 5 women each, and now you're going to run and build a whole campaign.
Wow.
So we had to get the numbers right, the stats, the how are we going to raise the money? How much is it going to cost? The budgeting. Who are we going to hire? And how are we going to market it? What's going to be like the advertisement? How are we going to do this? Are we block walking or media? What type of media? The schools, TV, what's the cheapest route, and just so much information. And our group won second place, so close. But that was an experience that shows you can run a full campaign
with 5 people
within 1 week.
And
within 1 week. Yeah. And I was like, how is that even possible? Like, and that's just, it's just mind blowing how much information, and you can do it in such little bit of pressure. And I want to say the Women's Campaign School, what it really is trying to push for women. Why? Because statistically speaking, they say women have to be asked 7 times to run for something before they actually decide. And men usually just wake up and say, I'm going to run,
Yeah.
and it's,
and everything falls into place.
right.
Yeah.
And we're very underrepresented. And I'm really passionate about this program. And I told Celia, I'm like, I need to promote it somehow, even if you mention it. They are currently taking applications. The deadline is February 19th. And we really need more Valley females, Hispanics. You could be any nationality. You could be Democrat. You could be Republican. You could be neither. Just go ahead and apply. Any age. We've had women that were like in their early 20s all the way up until their late 50s. So any age, and they can apply. And like I said, whether you want to help somebody that's running for political office, or you want to, you're considering it, you're like, what, I could do better. I could do better than that person, or let me run against that person. I'm not happy with what they're doing. It's just so much information. The program is about $1,700, but they do provide funding with grants from donations, so it ends up not costing you anything. The only thing you'd have to pay for is your trip to Austin. So they pay for it, and it's just a great program. I can't express.
Yeah, no, you
It's
kept telling me
wonderful.
how wonderful it was throughout the process. So the program, well, I have a few questions, but I just want to make sure that I get the information out
Okay.
there. So it's out of the University of Texas at Austin, and it's the LBJ Women's Campaign School.
Correct.
It's out of the School of Public Affairs, the
Correct.
LBJ School of Public Affairs.
And the founder is Amy Kroll, who was she was selected by both Bill Clinton and George Bush for the 2020 class presidential leadership scholars. And she's the one that's the current executive director. And we are in our 4th year. The program is in
so
its
it's-
4th year. It's fairly new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's open to any woman in the U.S. So not just Texas, but anybody in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, there's, like I said, if you're thinking about it, if you're not affiliated with any party, it's just open to everybody.
Okay. So now tell us about your experience. I know you said you learned a lot.
Yes.
At the end, you had to put together a campaign. But what aha moments did you have throughout the...
The aha moments for me was how underrepresented women are. I didn't know it was that low. Like, they said 3 to 7%, local campaigns are women, and I think 20 some percent
Wow.
nationally, with the House and Senate. It was kind of, and how, like I said, that women have to be asked so many times I wouldn't have considered it. I would not have considered it. You think about it, well, I can either help somebody if you see a strong contender, or I can, maybe, I don't know, push somebody to run. Like if I say, Sylvia, run, consider it, I'll help you. I'm the background person. But yeah, this was more like my aha was, okay, yeah, I could do this. And I think everybody, it was our cohort consisted of 60 women from mostly Texas, and then we had some from other states. But I think a lot of the ones that went in like me thinking, I can help somebody, had just the aha, I could do this. Yes. And I think that's what women need, is more of a confidence boost. You know what I mean? That you can do it. It's not that difficult. It is intense, but it's not difficult. You know what I mean?
And it's what I'm hearing though is that it's an educational process, right?
Yes.
Because that information doesn't come to us.
No.
At all.
At all. No.
At all, especially down here. I mean, it's
There's
just,
a lot of gatekeepers.
yeah, of course,
Yes.
a lot. So,
Lot of gatekeepers.
so I can see that being a foundational issue
Yes.
of why women don't run. And then, of course, you've got those other issues along the way where, well, you start a family and
Yes.
you know,
Multitasking and
yes.
juggling family and that's another thing too. Which actually will be discussed. That's continuing on. We're leaving for DC tomorrow, and we'll be there for the whole week until next week. And they're going to have their first inaugural summit in Washington DC, where they'll also have more guest speakers, some politicians or whatever will speak to us. And one of the topics was juggling family. So, maybe I'll get some more information on that. But yeah, that's one of the major things that women have to do because, the man has it easier. He kind of just,
Yeah.
here, honey, take care of the kids.
Yeah.
Okay. But the women, especially if you're a single woman, and we had a lot of single mothers too, and it's like, it's difficult. It's difficult. So that's going to be more information. And again, they help with finances if you're not able to afford. They provided Southwest vouchers for those that so they really encourage women. Don't let the finances discourage you. You will be helped, with the hotel, flights, whatever you need, the application fees. So the whole program, just any aspect you need to learn, whether juggling family, they will cover you. They will cover you. It's an empowering program for females, and I can't stress enough, like, just the value women, we're underrepresented in everything.
Yeah.
In everything. Like I said, I was
Yeah.
involved in downtown. I was involved with the Texas downtown program, the statewide program. And when you go up north to the northern cities, it's like, the valley, we're kind of like brushed off, like, the valley,
Todavía.
where is that? Or,
Yeah.
and it's sad. It's like, okay, okay. So,
And you had a question
yes.
regarding, all these, you said there were about 60 as part of your
60
cohort?
women per year, yes.
And-
approximately.
So in your networking and in your discussions, what was the one thing that kept coming up that had maybe motivated them to do this, or they decided, hey, you know what, I want to try this out? Is it because they felt, I want to help somebody run a campaign, or is there something that maybe you heard that was just over and over again, like, this is why I'm taking this class, this is why I'm part of this cohort?
The thing that everybody had a story behind them of their reasoning why they wanted to run. Like, one particular woman had like some type of family member that was in the jail system unfairly, and everybody just had some type of story. They were passionate about it. Another, like, for example, a congresswoman shared where when these women compete, like, every year they have a fundraiser, and all the females tend to compete as a team against the press, where, like, you have the men, they compete against each other. So it's like, it's we kind of realize the women just handle things a little differently. We're more compassionate. We tend to work a little bit better, and the men is more like competing, like that whole
We're
manly.
socialized that way too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just the fact that everybody has a story, and just gaining the knowledge that you wouldn't normally get anywhere else was what the empowering point, where it just kind of like the light bulb goes off. And you learn everything, that there's no excuse not to run. You know what I mean? Or help somebody if you prefer to be a campaign manager. There's just no excuse. Because like I said before, it's like I love learning things, and I never thought that I would consider, but yeah, that really pushed me to heavily consider something.
I'm still, right, I'm on this side of that knowledge, so I'm thinking I still don't see how I could
Girl, I
possibly
told
run.
you, apply. Yes, I didn't either. Once you go and you see, like, all of the speakers that they have are like newscasters helping you with the media. These are professionals, people that, and then you have people that have helped the politicians, like Elizabeth Warren, and people that have worked alongside their campaigns. And it's like, wow, it's like, holy moly, this is information. And that's why I encouraged you too. Like, apply. You're the one that told me about it. It's
Well,
like,
because I know that you, like, I see you, like, I want you to run.
yes,
for local
and that's
politics.
how I feel the same about you too. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't. You should really consider applying as well. If not for running just for the information and helping others, because not everybody gets selected. They get hundreds of applications, and they only pick 60. Thank you. They pick 60 per year. So not everybody gets selected, but you can still reapply, and
it's done once a year.
It's what?
It's once a year?
It's once a year. Right now, they're currently taking the applications. So as soon as they select the people, it would probably, I assume it would start in May of this year, the meet and greet in Austin. And I even met, I can't remember her name, but it was an older woman that was working up there in Austin at the Capitol. And she's like, oh, you're from Brownsville? I'm from Brownsville, too. She's like, I haven't lived there in 20 years, but I'm from there. She's like, and we need more people from Brownsville. We need more people from the Valley in general. And I can't express that more.
So you mentioned that it doesn't matter which I guess,
Political party.
Thank you. Political party. You.
It's bipartisan. It takes either or. They have speakers from both sides.
Oh.
So you'll have the Republicans, you'll have the Democrats, and then some people are pushing for a Green Party.
Yeah.
So you have just both sides. Like you can't even be like, oh, that person's a Republican or side eye. You can't, because everybody's just on such a level playing field, and we're all learning and trying to be better and bring better to our cities, our families, and it's just a very united group. And then the networking, of course, you're going to meet
that right there.
One thing that was awesome, you get assigned a mentor, and I was assigned Connie Schroeder from Bastrop. She was the mayor from Bastrop, so she was my mentor, and that's another great aspect. You get the mentor that walks you through, tells you about their experience, tells you what they did different, how they got through their hurdles, and it's just, overall, the people that you meet, and then the other people. Like currently we have some people running in different cities in San Antonio and Dallas that are currently running now, that they launched their campaign, and it's just really cool.
It's so cool. It's just, I can't wait for you to take that other leap, right?
Yes. I'm gonna eyeball it. Yeah, I have my eye on some things that I don't want to announce yet, but we'll see how that goes.
So tell me about the financing, because I think that's probably one of the biggest fears, right, or barriers for running. At least it is for me. It's like, how do you finance a campaign?
Yeah, well, they did provide tips as far as fundraising, events, and the donations aspect. Like, I hate asking. I can't even sell Girl Scout. I'd rather give them to you. I do not, I hate asking people for money. So they said just ask. Honestly, that's the only, just ask. You do not lose absolutely anything. It's just ask. Yeah. That's it. And just getting over that little, okay, let me just ask here, but a lot of times you'll hear yes, and that's what we tend to think, we're going to hear no, we're going to hear no, we're going to hear no, but you will hear that yes coming through, and just getting over that little, because I hate it.
Do you all remember the political pachangas that some of these politicians used to have?
And they still have them.
They still have them? The
pachangas? Like the you're talking about where they give out the dinner plates. And,
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to one, we tried. On Southmost, I forgot which candidate it was. It was a local candidate, and where the police station is at on Southmost.
Right, HEB?
Yeah, so the line went all around HEB, all around
That's
the whole
insane.
area, and I'm like, no, we're never gonna get through, right? but yeah, I mean, they give out. I think there were plates, barbecue plates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Pachangas.
they still have. Yeah, I mean, I see quite a few during the campaign, and then they'll post them on Facebook or something, and then everybody heads out there. Saturday afternoon lunch. Yeah. But I don't see how they get donations from that. Right? I mean, I think it's just a vote, right?
That would be more vote. Yeah. Donations, you really have to do the calls and the maybe hit fundraisers, where they have the fancier fundraisers, and I don't know if they have the Loteria fundraisers and things like that. Yeah, but it's just not being afraid to ask. That's the number one point. Just get over that. Ask. Be done with it, and keep track of your donors, and really keep track of your donors, because the ones that donate once will donate again. And just keep your network and your database and hope, I wish we could bring that program here. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be so awesome. Imagine.
Yeah. Preparing all these women,
Yes,
like a
all
lot
these
of women,
younger
yeah, to
women.
be able to run, because there's still. I mean, I see it, right, because I have an eye for that, so I'm constantly seeing the inequities. I'm constantly. I mean, just right here, you all mentioned, right, that in high school you got pulled in because Ray couldn't make
Right.
it, but other than that, you were the only
We're
woman.
the only female. Yes.
Yeah. Other than that, it would have been just all men there, right? So like we're seeing it, right? We
Yeah.
still continually seeing it. Yeah, I see more women now, right, than we
Yes.
did when we were growing up, but it's still not
Underrepresented.
Yes, yeah. There's still a lot more work to do. And then just what did you learn about the environment for women in politics?
Well, like you said, it is getting better. We do see more women, like you have the Ocasio-Cortez and Stacey Abrams and all them, that's starting to come up. But there's still, I don't know, there's still that thing that women tend to have, that we don't put ourselves out there as much as men.
And if you do,
yeah, right, then you're seen as aggressive, assertive, and that's one thing too for any female out there that's considering. One thing I did learn is to pull back a little bit on the aggression, not because we're seen as that, but because you don't want to be that negative Nancy in general, just whether you're male or female. And it just keep it more positive, because we do kind of have that stigma where if you're too aggressive and then you're called something, and you don't want to do that.
So there are optics that you have to be considering
Yeah.
constantly as well.
Yeah, it's just a lot of a lot of optics, a lot of, I don't want to say mind games, but just playing it a certain way. Yeah, that you do learn from.
And you have to know who you're campaigning for, right?
You have to know who you're campaigning against, who your team is. Can you trust them? And even another thing, don't trust anyone.
Oh yeah.
Well, we know that already.
We already know that.
Yeah. I'm always optimistic though. I always give people one chance. It's like, I'm gonna trust you once, and then if you screw me over, okay, then that's something else. But yeah, they're like, no, don't trust anyone. But yeah, you have to have a really reliable finance team, somebody that you can really trust. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, I just, if you could go and you have this platform, you can see you can irradiate with political passion. Come back, she's gonna be like glowing.
Now you you mentioned that you and politics are not friends, I guess.
No, I wasn't a fan. I know we discussed this on a personal level. I wasn't a fan how things were run. We've had incidences where political figures take advantage of certain opportunities that should be for our local community, and they take advantage of it. So it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, people you have faith in, and usually, yes, and that's always, why does that always happen? Like, you always like, this is the person, I'm going to vote for them, and then they let you down later on, or you find something on you. Another one bites the dust, again. And that's just, it's kind of like, well, why can't good people run, Why are the good people always hiding in the shadows? It's like, why?
Because it's so
Cutthroat.
My father ran for BSD school board, and he won, but man, it wasn't without it. He won. He won. He was board president for a while there, and then he opted to run again, and but when he was running, a friend of the family's said, when you're running for office, everything's going to come out.
Yeah.
All your secrets are going to come out. And so I think, like you said, good people are deterred by what can be, made up, what can be, just skewed or whatever it is with social media and with all these different things. And so I think that might contribute to, man, this person is so good, and I think they would make a difference, and I think they'd be good in this position, but they shy away because,
Yeah.
you know what, I don't want to deal with that part of it, that aspect. Some
And-
people was like, you know what, I don't care, I'm just gonna run.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I give them credit. I admire those people. Like, I wish I could be that way. Like, we just run.
Whatever happens, happens.
Put my face on a poster. We're good. Like, who cares? Everybody knows me now. Like, you know.
It'll be good for my business.
Right. Yes. Exactly. But yeah, and the finances shouldn't deter people either, because I want to say 2,500 is like the average what most like local campaigns have. And that's what they said. It was like a really low number. It was
wow.
like it was a small number. It was definitely under 10 grand. So that was surprising, where it's
Yeah.
like, I always thought it was like thousands and thousands.
Me too.
And granted, you do have like the bigger positions, like the state and Senate, where they do raise more money and millions and stuff like that. But as far as local level, like getting your feet wet, if you want to run for like the BISD board or commissioner, stuff like that, you don't really need a huge amount of money. So.
And there's no funding from the local governments. In Utah, that's where we lived for about 10 years. There used to be a fund, or there was a fund for startup campaigns. I don't know how much it was. Because I wasn't considering it. But it was just to help out, to make it sure everybody had, whoever wanted to run, right, had a good, like a beginning, right, just some fund. But I don't think there's anything like that here, is there?
I haven't heard, but I am going to ask. But what I do know is a lot of the speakers did volunteer themselves. So if they say, okay, hey, Sylvia, if you're if you guys are thinking of running, shoot me an email, just so they can provide some type of donation. So that's kind of a little boost with all the special guests and speakers. Some of them do volunteer to help the people that do decide to run. But as far as like what you're speaking of, I don't know, and I'm going to find out, because that's a really good question.
Yeah, I think it would help.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
that would help.
happens, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting.
especially for young people who
Yeah, they're
are,
interested in it too.
who don't, that
They're
they
pretty
want-
green and don't know how to.
Yeah, and
maneuver.
now I think there's a salary for commissioners.
Oh yeah,
right.
20,000 for commissioners and 40,000 for mayor.
For mayors, which I think should be donated if you.
That's an awesome
right?
idea.
I-
That is a fabulous idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm just saying,
Yeah. I'm saying too.
Okay, well, I guess I want to know more about your experience. Like what you're going to be going up to
Washington.
To
This
Washington.
weekend, yeah.
And then so tell me about the cohort, like what's the network that you are now part of?
The network, well, they put you in, the app is called Slack, so we kind of like communicate through there. And then from there, they share everybody's name, email, phone number. So now you're at it. And they constantly put you in these little groups so you can become more familiarized, icebreakers and stuff like that. So you become more comfortable with these people. You have their contact information. We can all gather on Slack and communicate with each other. We can share Facebook pages, or if you want to go that route, or just be in touch on a constant basis. They really push for that. That way we can help each other if anybody decides to run for a campaign, help push it. Because sometimes, like one lady that's running in Dallas, I know some people in Dallas, so let me push it to the people I know, you know what I mean, that she's running. So stuff like that, where it's encouraged to promote other women running somewhere else, because we might have family or friends in that city, and it's kind of like that helps too. So it's a really good network.
Okay.
And then now in DC, we're going to meet the former cohorts, whoever decides to go. So now it's 260 women that you get to network with. So it's just a big.
So you go from Austin and then now to Washington.
Right, and then all the previous cohorts from the same program have the opportunity to meet there as well. So now it's going to be a whole bunch of us.
And how long are these?
It's a 2-day summit,
2 days.
Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, if finances are a problem, they help you out with that. Everybody's excited. I'm excited. I'm actually taking my Girl Scouts, which are my girls, with me.
Really?
Yes,
That's
because
awesome.
coincidentally today, February 9th, is Girl Scout Government Day, and Boy Scouts as well, and they're currently with the people in the city working with the mayor, commissioner, and all the
Nice.
Bronzeville positions. and they get assigned to different positions, and they get to be with them all day, kind of shadow them and
That is
see how they
awesome.
work. Yeah, so today's Girl Scout, and we couldn't make it because we have too much stuff to do. So I'm like, you know what? Let's celebrate in
In Washington.
Washington and
That's awesome.
still cover the whole government aspect. And so I'm gonna kill two birds. And, yeah,
How do you have time for all of this?
I don't.
I
I had to bring my calendar. I'm like, you see my calendar? And then I'm a realtor too, so I'm kind of like, which I have to be because that's the only way I can, be flexible. Because if I had to be stuck at an 8 to 5, 9 to 5,
I've
I
often
wouldn't be.
wondered, like, how did she do it? What kind, I want her job.
Realtor. I can sign you up for that too. Let's go.
I have a sister who's a realtor.
Yeah, it's more flexible. So that's how I do it. And I used to work from home, which was also flexible. But yeah, now I'm a realtor and I can kind of be more flexible. But yeah, Girl Scouts and the whole thing. And a lot of things are now on Zoom, so they make it easier for you, like all the meetings, like the state meetings and stuff like that. So
yeah,
just
things
gotta
are.
make it work.
I admire you.
Thank you.
I do.
I don't know why you. There's no reason to. I haven't done
I
anything
do,
yet.
but because I'm pushing you.
Thank you. And I'm going to come back to you for something that I want to start in September.
Oh.
And I'm not going to announce it yet, but it's something that I think you would like and be part of.
Well, I'm going to ask you. I teach civics to homeschoolers
Oh, okay.
on Wednesdays. I'm just part of my my little first cohort.
Nice.
So I think you should come and talk to them about.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, they're learning about right now we're in federalism, the federalist government.
Okay.
But we'll move towards the local governments.
Okay, that'll be cool.
Yeah, and I think you should come in. I already invited one other person to
Awesome.
Nudith
Oh,
Galonsky.
Galonsky, yes.
Yeah.
I like her. She's
Yeah. I was disappointed with her loss.
No, but
Nothing against Brian. I don't know him.
we
very
don't know
well,
him yet.
but-
Yeah, we'll give the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, but I did like Nearth. I really thought she had. I mean, she practically did win. I mean, what was it, like 61 votes or
I
something?
think so.
It was like really close.
Yeah. But enough to
Yeah.
get.
And I hope she doesn't get discouraged. I hope she runs again.
I hope so too.
That's the thing too. They say when women lose, we don't tend to run again, and that was like what? Where
Wow.
the men will jump up to another position, looking like Alex Dominguez. He like hops around everywhere.
Didn't Alex Dominguez graduate with us too, or am
I
I
don't know.
confusing him?
I
with
have no
somebody
idea.
else?
I don't think so.
No, there was an Alex in our.
Alex Mead.
Maybe I don't know.
He's not in politics, so
I'm-
not yet,
Again,
Alex.
I'm horrible with names. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, gotta look.
'Cause
Confused
you gotta
there.
go.
Yeah, I actually have to step away early, but it was so nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too
Have
again.
a safe trip to. I know
Thank-
again, right?
thank you.
Have a safe trip to Washington D.C. and you're doing so many wonderful things.
Thank you.
And wanna
Hopefully
see-
we can keep going and do better. Yes.
Yeah.
He's gonna go support the women in his family.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome.
But no, really nice to see you again,
Thank you.
and yeah.
And enjoy.
And you're always welcome.
Yes,
By all
if I
means to
have
continue.
anything new and exciting to share, I'm gonna come knocking on y'all's door. And
Please do. I mean, and
Yes.
when you whatever it is you decide to, well, we're not done yet though, you and I. But for launching, if you ever want to, I mean, you've got
you.
this mic.
thank you very much.
Enjoy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is next week.
Wednesday.
Yes, Valentine's Day. We love
is Ash Wednesday
Valentine's
too, right,
Day.
they
It is
said?
Ash Wednesday.
It is. It's the same day.
That's
Ash Wednesday.
En vez de los chocolates se ponen una crucita. But yeah, I mean, going back, we don't celebrate Valentine's. We're a kind of anti-Valentine. So is my daughter. She even made like an anti-Valentine
Wow.
card at the
Okay.
library, right?
I
Yeah,
like that attitude.
yeah. So
we do February 15th
which is
after sales.
the chocolate.
That's it. we don't do the 14th.
Yeah. No,
All right,
we.
well, I need to step away, but
Okay.
the show
Okay.
continues.
Thank
But
you.
thank you so very much. On behalf of myself, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy Valentine's Day next Wednesday.
Oh, have
Or
fun.
Ash Wednesday. And I'll see you guys back next week. But thank you so very much. And
Have a
it's really
wonderful
nice
week.
to see you again.
Yes.
All right.
Have
Okay.
30 years.
30 years later.
30 years. Oh my goodness. And if you have
Probably
that,
around the
if you
same
have
time.
that DVD,
Yes, I will pass it on.
send
I
it
will.
to
Yes.
Sylvia, and Sylvia can send it to
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I'm
yes.
gonna post it on YouTube.
I'm gonna put it on YouTube.
Yeah, if you have it on YouTube.
Let me find it again. Yeah, because it was a couple of months ago that I saw it again. I'm like, oh,
Yes,
wow.
I would really love to see it because it's been 30 years. The only problem, we were talking before the show began about my white socks. I was wearing white socks. Oh my goodness, I don't know why it bothered me so much.
I still, obviously, it still
It still
does.
does 30 years
I don't
later.
know why white socks
30
are.
years later. Yeah, I was
It's kind
wearing-
of, it's
yeah.
kind of like a, yeah, I can
That is
see
so
where
funny.
the things we focus on.
I know.
White socks.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. The show's not over yet, but I do step away. So, gracias.
So I wanted to ask you. You mentioned you're single mom,
Yes.
and so your daughters. What do they think about you and possibly and you in politics? Really?
They're okay with it. They're okay with it. My oldest, she tends to be a little stern on certain things too at school that she kind of stands up for, and
Good.
I like that. And the second one too, she's 13, and I homeschool the youngest too while I can, because once they hit high school, I'm kind of done with the homeschool. I can't.
Yeah.
It becomes another ballpark. But yeah, they're okay. I'm like, so you're okay with having? Yeah, we're fine. You know, so they're pretty supportive.
Oh, that's good.
So that's cool. And they know, if anything, I teach them speak up for what bothers you or what, anything. Just give your view in a nice way. Always be nice about it. Don't be nasty about it. Don't call names. There's no reason why you should disrespect somebody. There's no reason, you should step out of line. Just make your point. Like debate team.
Yeah.
You make your points in the counter and that sort of thing. So they know how I am, and because the thing is, I'm usually very quiet, and I kind of just analyze the playing field, and then I won't take the lead unless there's nobody else that will, if that makes sense.
It
you know?
does. It
I
does.
prefer being the guy behind the curtain that runs things or helps others, but sometimes you're like,
When you have a full life, right?
Yeah.
That sometimes taking the lead in this or in that,
Yeah.
it can
it's
consume.
daunting. Yeah.
Because community work is really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing. That's why taking that leap, right, to politics. I think for me, it's like that's going to consume
A lot.
a lot of your,
lot.
your
Yeah.
life. That's your life. That's going to be your career.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a huge leap, which I hope you make.
And I
like,
can see you totally in it too, and like I said, if anything, if you can like just learn about it, you don't have to do anything. Just
I would
take
love
that
to.
information.
Yeah, I would love the information so then I can, because I see, I am in different, as you are, right, in different groups. I've met so many women since I've gotten back. And for example, I sent you that link. So I'm like, oh, this would be great for her. And now I'm already, as you're talking about it, I'm thinking of other women I've met
that should also
that should
get that
be
link.
part. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna once we're done, I'm gonna be sending it
yes.
to. But yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many great leaders in Bronzeville, women leaders that I can see are doing a much better job than. And and it's and I'm not gonna apologize for this. I think the women that I know that I've met and I've worked with are doing a much better job than some of the men that are already leaders, right? Because but they just because you don't take that, you don't understand or you don't know the system of how
Right.
to run or how to be in those leadership positions that you just don't do it. It becomes a barrier.
Right. And then a lot of times the men have either their fathers or their brothers or their uncles,
There's already a
kind of like the
legacy
little
there.
boys club, that pull them in, and they're already familiar with the system. And women are kind of like, okay, we have to learn, unless they have, a family member, then they get that advantage. But majority, we don't. Yeah.
And there's another thing that I have an issue with when it comes to politics or just civic engagement is that we don't know enough about how it really works, right? So, like, I tried looking for the charter on the Bronzeville website, and I still can't find it.
Yeah, you'd have to talk to probably, and then good luck getting an email answered, because
Yeah, and that's
Been there,
frustrating.
done that. Yeah, it is frustrating.
It's really frustrating because I was I'm going to teach it to the kids and to the homeschoolers, and like how this should be accessible. Like this should just be one click away for everyone to be able to read the charter
Yeah.
and understand it and know what policies what laws we have in the
Right.
city,
Right.
and it's inaccessible. And
And have you tried contacting like the commissioner?
I just started doing this
Okay.
a few weeks ago, so I'm like, no, but I will. I did email my commissioner for another issue, and I still haven't gotten an email back.
Okay.
So I'm going to. I might have to do it in person though.
And a lot of times people don't answer. I've had previous commissioner, not anybody now, but previous commissioners where you email them and just crickets. They don't answer you, and then you get to the point where you're like CCing everybody in the email, like, can somebody answer me? And then you get those nuggets of information from the people that the commissioners that do know and do want to help, and then you kind of could tell like who are the ones that shouldn't be there and who are the ones that should. And that's another aspect too. But yeah, it's difficult to get a hold of some people. I feel like they're either not involved or they don't. If they don't know the information, they're too scared to tell you they don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, that pride thing has to be put to
course.
the side because they're too. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to answer this because I don't
Yeah.
know. Instead of, you know what, let me forward it to someone who might know, or let me find out, or let me ask as well. Because if I don't know, how does.
I see that a lot in leadership. You just touched on something that I've been observing since I moved back. Is just people in leadership don't know when to say they don't know something. And I come from education, right? So for me, it's always the don't know is important
Yes.
to move you to the next step, right? For us to grow. And when I see that people leave, and I'm not just talking about people in politics,
Just in
also
general, yeah.
nonprofits. When they don't know, they don't ask for help.
Yeah.
And that's really
It's okay.
It's okay to ask, but it benefits us for you to ask
as a whole. Yes.
as a whole, exactly, because then you won't lose the nonprofit,
Right.
or the budget won't be completely lost, or little things like those that
They go
little
along
things
with
like
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say that when I first got onto the downtown board, where they put me on another board, and being new, and I don't know if that's the reason why they put new people on there, because they don't know and they don't ask the questions. You see that where a situation came up where you're like, well, why is that person getting grant money if they're on the board, or if they're involved indirectly with a family member? Like things like that you see, and you're kind of like, that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But a lot of people won't question it. They'll kind of like, okay, yay, that sort of thing. Like, yay.
Y así se va. Like it just continues.
Yeah. Nobody like, well, wait a second. Can you explain why, this person, if isn't it conflict of interest? Nobody, it's very rare you see somebody really, unless they're seasoned, they're familiar with the process and that sort of thing. But like usually younger people or new people, they could be older and just new to the system, and they'll go along, they'll assume or trust that the people that are voting for these things know what they're doing, where you don't know what their intent. Later on, you find out the true intentions or what was behind it, and things like that, where you're like, okay.
That's the reason why I'm teaching the civics class, to be honest with you. It's more, to be able to pass on this information, but it's also so I can learn too, because there's a lot of things I didn't get taught that well. Like, I don't remember, unless you went through student council, but even then, right? You don't, that little world, but they're not really, you're not being
It's
taught.
watered down. Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're not, we weren't really taught any government thing. No.
Yeah.
The only thing, like I say, remotely close would be like the Boy Scouts and Girl Scout thing that they do. But even that, like when I first put my, she's 16 now, but when I was first looking for a Girl Scout troop, it was so hard. Like, why is it so hard to find the Girl Scout troop back then? Like, I really had to, like, email the office, the corporate. I'm like, where do I... Finally, I found one in St. Luke's, and I was like, okay. And I joined that one. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a gatekeeping thing or they just don't want to... I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like,
that would
like I'm all for people knowing and learning, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm too, like my dad says, in la la land, but
I have a
don't
quick
know.
question for
Yes.
you. We only have a few minutes, but I ask everyone this, and I forgot it last week. But what does feminism mean to you?
I can't even feminism. I can pronounce it. Just an empowered woman who knows what she wants and knows how to help others and uplifts everybody around them. It's not just about you, it's about everybody, because in the long run, everybody needs to get up there, and just don't be stingy,
Don't be a hoarder.
Yeah,
Don't
be
be
stingy.
right?
Yeah.
Because knowledge can be hoarded too,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
and that's I think that's a big issue.
You're going to die off, and then what? You're going to die with your knowledge, and what is that going to do? That's not going to help anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a great person. Yeah, but now everything's gone to crap.
Well, it might help your land ownership, right?
Yeah,
your bank account.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for that. That's so weird how this happened, but
And then
yeah.
so quickly, I thank you for
I
rushing
know.
over here. I'm so
I want to
sorry.
take a shower. Let me get there real quick. Okay, awesome.
You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you've got this microphone. It's yours whenever
right.
you want
I'll
it
put
and
my
need
name
it.
on it.
Yeah. And for you that's listening and are interested in politics, you're a woman. Please look at the.
It's
what
the website is lbjwcs.lbj.utexas.edu.
Okay.
But you can just Google the LBJ Women's Campaign School out of UT Austin.
Okay, and I'll post it on the on Instagram.
Okay.
So at Radio Feminista, just look it up. And we are at a time. We're 1 minute out. So everybody have a great weekend. Make sure you have your safe. Make sure you're just driving safe. Make sure you enjoy the weather. And just listen to us next week. Enjoy Valentine's if you celebrate it. And what else is happening? Whatever else is. The Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Although I'm not a Super Bowl fan.
Yeah,
or
I'm not
football
digging the
fan.
teams.
Yeah.
The commercials, halftime, yeah.
Yeah. But I just think of the heads being,
I know. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Okay. Too violent of a sport. But everyone enjoy the Super Bowl and enjoy Valentine's next week. We are gonna play "Flowers" by Miley Cyrus because she just won her first, Grammy. So everyone have a great weekend. Thank you.
Bye-bye.